3-game winning streak into this one. They are 9-5 on the season. Notre Dame is 12-1 on the year. Their only loss coming against number 1 Connecticut. The Irish right now ranked 2nd in the country. They control the opening tap, and they'll get the first possession. And a familiar starting 5 out there for Notre Dame. You'll see 4 seniors along with the lone junior, Jackie Young. There's Agumbawale.
I tell you what, that's one of her parts of her game was so good, that pull-up jump shot. Surprised a little bit that Pittsburgh came out in a man-to-man look.
You see the starting lineup for Pittsburgh. Late scratch, Callisto Walters, who they expected to start, was replaced by Kara Judkins. She'll get the start in the middle as Notre Dame opens up in a 2-3 zone here.
Yeah, that 2-3 matchup, it's just deadly. They do a great job of rotating out of it. They feel very comfortable in it. They rebound extremely well out of it.
First look of the night from the Panthers is knocked down as Danielle Garvin gets the basket.
And there's an area in the mid-corner that's always open against that 2-3, and they exploited it very, very well and got a great look.
There are the Irish starters. Every one of them averages 13.4 points a game or more. They are a lethal fivesome when they're out there together.
And one of the things they do, they play extremely well together, and that was just a great pass. And again, that's another quality of the Irish. They have really upped the assist rate here in the last 2 weeks.
Jackie Young with her first 2 points of the night. That's now 996 for her career. She's now out defending. She forces a steal. Marina Mabry, the senior, all the way to the rack for 2.
Got to take care of the basketball. If you're the Panthers, you don't want to get transition easy baskets. It's very important to take care of the ball.
Here is Walsh. She is the de facto leading scorer on this team, as Asia Bug, who we'll talk about a little bit later, is out for the season indefinitely. Walsh misses on her end. Brianna Turner running the floor, gets the pass from Mabry, and she's fouled.
Just have a great opportunity here, a high-low look, a duck in, kind of a flex cut, great pass, great finish. You know, those are the things that the Irish just do extremely well. Digging in here, getting a loose ball. Again, you got to take care of the basketball if you're playing against the Irish.
Brianna Turner at the free throw line, able to make the first. Turner right now 5th on the team in scoring at 13.4 points a game. They've got 4 or 5 players, beg your pardon, at 13.4 or more.
And those are the things when you're faced with playing the Irish. There are just no weaknesses. There are no empty opportunities. You've got to defend all of them because all of them can hurt you one way or the other.
Well, Notre Dame turns it over for the first time. Again, it's an Irish team coming off a big victory last weekend against Lehigh. Muffet McGraw picking up her 900th career victory. 812 of those have come here at Notre Dame. The other 88 came at Lehigh, where she got her start for her first few seasons.
What an amazing milestone. 900 wins, you know, in 30-some years. You've got to look at the math on that sometime. That's about 30 wins a year. That's an amazing feat.
And Notre Dame has won 30-plus games in 8 consecutive seasons as well. Pittsburgh has to put it up here. Walsh will fire with the shot clock winding down. It grazes the side of the iron, goes out, and it goes back to Notre Dame.
Talking to Coach McGraw before the game, she's just so happy with what they're doing when they communicate and talk on the floor in that matchup zone. It got them to the dance last year, got them a national championship. That's what our players feel best doing.
Now both teams coming out in zone here as Pittsburgh looks to be in some kind of modified 1-2-2. Shepard gets in deep, had that partially blocked. So, beg your pardon, that's going to go back the other way.
I think it's going to be changed.
Yeah, the officials are going to get together here.
And when you watch the tape of what the Panthers are trying to run, it does look like a point type zone defense, but it's also very, very difficult.
So both officials, Norma Jones and Jennifer Rizak, get together. They overturn the call. They reset the shot clock to 17 and never hit the rim. Jackie Young in deep, 2 more.
Great out-of-bounds play by the Irish. They executed it to a T. That's something that's very important as you get into conference play, doing the little things that get you wins.
So Jackie Young now on the precipice of a career milestone, 998 points for Jackie Young.
Just think about all the opportunities they have on the floor that people can score. They're just loaded in every position.
And once Jackie Young gets to 1,000, it'll be another milestone for this fivesome on the floor as the Irish push it ahead. Here's a quick 3 from Marina Mabry that comes up short.
Great rebound.
Shepard with a great offensive rebound, and there's 1,000 for Jackie Young.
Wow, that's just amazing. The fans love it. Great interior passing. The Irish are playing on all cylinders right now.
Every player on the floor for the Irish right now, the part of their starting five, they all have 1,000 career points.
That's just unheard of. They have 5 of them out on here that have great ability to score.
There's a block from Turner. Irish run. Agumbawale ahead of the pack. That's a basket.
They need a timeout.
And a quick timeout. Lance White has seen enough. Notre Dame off to a hot start in this one. They're out to a 13-2 lead over Pittsburgh. And Jackie Young, the newest member of the 1,000-point club. Well, Irish off to a hot start in this one, up 13-2. Thanks to 6 points from Jackie Young, she's now got 1,000 for her career.
You know what? It's great. It's over for her, too. She doesn't have to worry about, that 1,000 point. It's done. Now she just focus in on the next challenge. Another bucket, going for another 1,000.
And a great moment here just a few moments ago at Purcell Pavilion. She got a standing ovation from this crowd here at Purcell Pavilion.
The fans at this place are amazing. They know. They just know. They follow these ladies. They know exactly what they're doing.
Very smart fan base, as you mentioned, yeah.
And loyal. They pack this out every game, and that's just a credit to the product they're watching.
Now they're seeing 5 1,000-point scorers on the floor at the same time for Notre Dame. Now just the Irish and Marquette, the only 2 programs that boast 5 starters in the 1,000-point club. Those 2 teams played just a few weeks ago. Notre Dame got the better of Marquette. That was a great environment in Milwaukee on the road. Notre Dame had to go into a hostile environment, and they came out of there with a 20-plus point victory.
That just says something, again, about the Irish, how they prepare for league play. They go out and play tough people, and that's the reason why they're successful.
Another turnover. That's the 3rd of the game. Agumbawale running with fellow senior Marina Mabry, who gets it up on the iron, but it hangs off and drops.
Great hustle back, really kind of got in her way, allowed her to kind of readjust that shot. She still should have made it, but great hustle by the Pitt players.
And get a quick sub here. Kawhi Bradley's going to come in for Pitt. Local product out of Chicago, Illinois, getting a chance to come play back near to home.
Absolutely. I'm sure her parents are excited they don't have to make the long trip on that toll road.
That's an inbound set. That pass got into Shepard somehow, and right back to Mabry for a deuce.
And I'd have to see that again. I'm not sure if that was a pass or something that just slipped out of her hand, but everything's clicking for the Irish right now.
That was a great inbound set by the Irish. Mabry almost got another steal.
Notre Dame's just playing so solid at both ends right now.
Well, this is when they have been at their best in recent years.
Yes.
ACC play, they have been outstanding. This is their 6th season in the ACC. As the mid-range jump shot by Jasmine Whitney wouldn't go. And again, the Irish are off to the races.
There have been no answers right now for the Panthers. It's just been a struggle. Trying to find opportunities to get open looks has not happened. Now they're starting to turn the ball over a little bit.
It's a 13-0 run for Notre Dame here. And they've got a healthy lead here in the early goings of this one. Pittsburgh needs a basket. It's a 3 from Nelson that rattles off. Kyla Nelson, who comes off the bench and shoots the 3 very well, couldn't get that one to go. Whitney now steps into another jump shot. That one rattles off, and it's out of bounds.
Again, out-of-bounds plays are a very important part of the game, and you want to adjust. It's great pass there, great quick pass, slip back, and that was a pass back. Great pass by Shepard. And again, the Irish are finding different ways to score.
As a coach, though, defensively, when you're defending the inbound pass, for it to go from one side all the way through the middle of your defense, that cannot be something that makes you too happy.
No, it isn't. You're making a pass across the defense. No one was there on the first one, and no one returned back on the second one, which resulted in a layup. So, I'm looking at the body language of the coaching staff right now. I think they're just a little bit overwhelmed right now because they have no answers. There's really not been anything they've been able to do offensively or defensively. They just need to kind of settle in here. Coach might need to burn another timeout and just see if they can settle in before the game gets out of hand.
Well, there is Lance White. First season, 9-5. They've won 3 in a row. They've been down by 9+ points in all 3 of those games and have come back to win. So they have experience coming back and digging out of a deficit, albeit none of those comebacks have been against the number 2 team in the country.
Right, and defending national champions. So, that will be the real challenge to bring his team in here and see if they can kind of adjust and recover a little bit.
And they're having trouble defending inbound sets.
Yes.
Another easy deuce for Mabry.
What they're looking to do is just pass back right to the person that inbounds the ball, and that's one that sometimes gets away of everybody. They're all looking at who's out on the court, and they're forgetting about the person that steps in and gets an easy look.
No, Mabry gave a look as she ran down the floor as if she was stunned. She was so wide open again off of the inbound set. That is, again, just too easy
I think
for
she
Notre
looked
Dame.
at Coach McGraw and said, let's run this play a lot because I'm just wide open. I'm going to pass the ball inbounds. I'm going to get a right open look. And I'm going to get another opportunity to score 2 points.
Pitt sticking in this zone here as the score has ballooned 20-2. They've got to find a way to stop the bleeding. Notre Dame is 9 for their first 13. Make it 10 for 14.
Yes, they are playing with so much confidence. You can just feel that vibe from here.
Enrique Agumbawale recently moved to 4th all-time on the Notre Dame scoring list. She is chasing Skylar Diggins, who she likely can track down by season's end to become the all-time leading scorer.
There are so many good things that the Irish are doing defensively right now as a coach. They're keeping the ball on one side of the floor. They're talking and communicating. And, they've been able to rebound and get out and go. It's just a clinic right now. If you're a coach, you want to just put this out here and say this is a clinic.
Yeah, and one of the reasons they're so effective is because of Enrique Agumbawale.
Yes. And
again, she can beat you in so many different ways.
Yeah, the thing that you can do is you can go inside and then kick it outside, and you get this 3. So the Irish have pounded the ball inside. Now that forces the zone to collapse. Now you kick it outside, and now they're knocking down 3s.
Now, Pittsburgh really also struggling to score. 1 for 9. You can attribute a lot of that to the Notre Dame defense.
It's a clinic. It really is. I mean, I can't say enough. I'm looking for answers for coach as well, and I don't see them right now. The Irish are just smothering the ball, and they're doing a great job of reading the defense.
Shepard got in close, but she couldn't convert.
Had a great look.
Well, one of the things Pitt, again, is missing, it's worth mentioning, Asia Bug is out as Walsh steps into a 3. That was from long range, and she buries it.
And they can shoot the 3, so if they can get those looks and get them back in the game, if they can just stop the Irish at this end.
That's what Walsh does. 37% three-point shooter, averaging just a tick under 11 points per game. She is effectively the leading scorer behind Bug, who's out for the season indefinitely with a blood clot.
Yes.
Obviously, everybody hoping that she can come back and perform at a level afterwards, but no word on whether or not she'll be able to come back. But Walsh has stepped into that void that she's left.
I think that's one thing you've got to be able to do as a player. You just got to respond by taking your shot. I think they actually overpassed a little bit against the Irish defense, and there she just went down, had an open look, knocked it in.
Again, Walsh is a player who, in her first couple of seasons, never averaged more than 2.4 points per game. Now, as a senior, she's gotten an opportunity. She's leading the team in minutes.
Yes.
And now leading them in points amongst active players with 11.
That happens a lot, especially with a coaching change. All of a sudden, you might fit, or you think, hey, this is a new coach, a new opportunity. I'm going to take advantage of it, and I'm going to beat people out, especially as a senior. She has probably said, hey, this is my time. I'm experienced. I want to get out there and play best my senior year, and she's done exactly that.
She looks to be the calming force right now out there for Pittsburgh, who is searching for answers, trailing by 20 here in the opening quarter against number 2 ranked Notre Dame. First conference game for either team as Danielle Garvin takes one from the elbow, and that comes up short.
You've really got to be able to hit that shot right at the free throw elbow area against this Irish zone. If you can't, then you're not going to be able to score against it.
They left Mabry open, and she is shooting the ball well as of late. She came in having made 7 of her last 12 three-pointers in her last 3 games. And tonight she is 4 for 6, and she's leading Notre Dame with 8 points.
Can hear communication on the floor defensively, making sure that everybody knows where they are in this zone.
This ball ends up in the corner. To the end line goes Kawhi Bradley, and then it's floated up and in. Wow.
Great reversal against the length of the Irish. That was her only option, and she took advantage of it.
Well, the last 2 baskets from Pitt have come out of nowhere a little bit. Walsh with that deep 3, and then that reverse from Bradley. That was some good work along the end line.
It really was against the length of the Irish. That's special. Yeah, this is pretty unique because she got some spin off of, reverse spin, high off the backboard. I mean, high off the backboard, and knocked it in.
And we'll see Nelson come back in. She is a shooting threat for Pitt.
Yes.
She'll try to stretch the floor a little bit as Turner's able to knock down the free throws.
Coach McGraw mentioned her, Nelson being able to knock in threes. She shot well, nearly 40% from the three, so you'll have to keep an eye on her against this zone.
Yeah, 42% from the outside as Walsh is fouled by Mabry, and 2/3 of her shots come from deep. So you got to keep an eye on 13 in blue if you're Notre Dame.
Irish did a little different look there. They went out and trapped out of it, which is something that Coach McGraw likes to do from time to time, mix up her defense. Not allow people to just get in their comfort zone. All of a sudden, they started trapping the ball in half court.
You've got Abby Prohaska, the freshman, on the floor. Also, Michaela Vaughn, redshirt freshman, in the game as well. As we hit the 1-minute mark of the opening quarter, Notre Dame, as expected, has jumped out to an early lead in this one. Prohaska got a piece into the hands of Walsh, and she knocks down another three.
That's not what they drew up, but the ball got in her hands, and she had a wide-open look and knocked it in.
Mabry on the other side will try to answer. That's off the heel of the iron, tapped out of play, and back to Pitt. So Walsh has looked good here in this opening quarter for Pitt.
You know, and she has a lot of composure right now where you can say she wants the ball, she wants to get good looks. And I think right now she's probably been the answer, and she needs to get another good look here.
See if they run anything for her on what could be Pitt's final offensive possession of this quarter. Knight has it, looking into the corner that time for Nelson, but it's deflected.
As a coach against this zone, one of the things you really want to see is a lot of ball fakes. That gets the defense to shift, and right now the Irish, without those ball fakes, are playing right in the passing lanes, getting their hands on a lot of deflections.
Joshana Knight had it, threw it to Nelson. Walsh picks it up, 7 to shoot. Goes in deep. It's Callista Walters back out to Walsh. Another three. That one's too strong. Ogunbowale went up for the rebound. Had it ripped away by Knight, but she stepped on the end line.
Again, had another good look. Just didn't drop this time. Last possession here. We'll see if the Irish run a set.
Ogunbowale falling away. Comes up short. Offensive rebound is up and in. And a foul as well.
Now, she'll say that was a pass, but that really was a shot. But it worked out great. It went right to her teammate and, took advantage off the rim, rebound, and knocked it in. It looked like a shot, but it worked as a pass.
Well, everything going Notre Dame's way right now. The lead is up to 32-10.
That's a lot of points in the first quarter.
Pitt will get it into Walsh, see if she can get a shot off. She will, and it'll go begging and bring an end to the opening 10 minutes. Notre Dame jumps out in front early, a 22-point lead, and they've got a new member of their 1,000-point club, Jackie Young, the 40th in Irish history, and the familiar faces of Arike Ogunbowale and Marina Mabry adding to the charge as well. Notre Dame has a commanding 32-10 lead over Pittsburgh here in the opening ACC game of the season. Tony Simeone with Mike Lightfoot from a near-capacity crowd here at Purcell Pavilion. That's what these teams have done over the last 5 seasons in ACC play. You can see it's kind of a tale of two teams.
Absolutely. Again, that's what Coach White is trying to do, is to build a culture of success here at Pitt. And, he's had a lot of success as an assistant coach. Now he's moved over as a head coach at Pitt, and we'll see how long it takes to develop the skill sets and the players that needs to compete in the ACC.
Good running floater by Jasmine Whitney right there. You saw the number 77-3 for Notre Dame in 5 seasons. They've won all 5 regular season ACC titles. Last year was the first year they did not win the conference title when Louisville knocked them off. Their only 3 losses in conference play have come to NC State a couple of years ago, Miami a few years before that, and then Louisville last year. The most memorable one was Louisville last year when they lost by 33.
Yes, other than that. And, they've had 40-0 at home. I mean, these numbers are staggering, and, the legacy that's happening has just been incredible. But, you know, it's also good. Nixon just knocked down a shot, and that's just a great sign for the Irish because they want her to come along, start getting quality minutes as you get into conference play. You can rotate your guards a little bit more, and plus you never know. There could be someone spraining ankles, someone gets sick, you know, and they need her as a great player in high school to step up now, as now it's conference time.
Yeah, Nixon averaging just about 3 points a game, getting 20 minutes per contest, though, which I know is something that the whole coaching staff excited about, getting her those reps with such an experienced team.
You know, she just has to go out here and just kind of play a role, play with some confidence. Talk about playing with confidence.
Yep.
You can just see that she now has a tremendous amount of confidence. After a kind of a slow start to the season with some injuries, now she's playing at 100%, and it shows.
That's the first 3 of the night for Mabry. Again, came in having made 7 of her last 12 coming into this one. She scored 19 or more points in 3 of her last 4 games. She has been a better player here as she's gotten her footing. Again, missed the first 5 games of the season, out with an injury as we have a travel out front. And when Marina Mabry is playing well, this team is easily one of the best, if not the best in the country.
The X factor. You have all these great players, but then you add that perimeter shooter, plus her intensity on the defensive end, just her experience too. She knows the system. She knows exactly what needs to be done. And I think that those are going to be the success story as we see this season continue throughout the conference.
We'll have a whistle. Foul's going to be on the floor here.
Yeah. Boy, the Irish are just passing the ball so well. You know, this is a learning experience for a young team. Pittsburgh's coming in here and recognizing that they have a great team they're playing against.
Turner able to absorb some contact and finish. Another basket off and out of bounds play.
It was just a pass and a cut. And, you know, it's just a pass and a cut. Those things, you know, that they went over today in the scouting report, but they have not made that adjustment. Out of the zone, matching up. So the Irish are cutting to gaps, finding those open places, and finishing.
That's, by my unofficial count, 3 or 4 baskets off of baseline out-of-bounds plays, which as a coach will drive you nuts.
Drive you nuts. If you got the scout, you can tell over there the coach has got the scout because right now he's just shaking his head thinking, we went over these things before the game started.
Walsh got her way inside, missed it badly though. Back out into the hands of Jasmine Whitney. Her 3 comes up short, and Agumbawale has it for the Irish. The lead is building close to 30 now. Enrique Agumbawale couldn't get it to go, and it's rebounded into the hands of Callisto Walters.
Well, I was talking to Coach McGraw before the game. One of the things she really talked about is the ability that the Irish have being able to break out of this 2-3 matchup zone. They have their wings already set. They do a great job of rebounding. As soon as the ball goes up, once it's established, those wings are off and gone. That transition is just deadly. So the 2-3 is a great way to break in transition out of the defense.
Well, Notre Dame shooting 62% right now from the floor, 41 points already, and we haven't even hit the 7-minute mark. Agumbawale wants to keep running, and she'll get a basket, +1.
I am one of the most exciting players in the country, and I'm going to go coast to coast. There's the other gear, went over to the left side, flipped it up with her right hand. Just an amazing All-American shot. You know, she's pretty good.
That's the best analysis you've had all year, Coach.
That's right. In my 30 years of head coaching, I would just put in a report, she is really good.
Averaging just a couple ticks under 24 points a game, leading the ACC in scoring, reigning ACC Female Athlete of the Year. So her accolades speak for themselves. Of course, the 2 big shots in the Final Four to win the game over UConn, the buzzer beater against Mississippi State to win the championship. Everybody now around all of sports knows who Enrique Agumbawale is, as Mabry steps into another rhythm 3.
Oh, my goodness. Again, she just knew coming off of the screen, she just had a transition look and just knocked it down. I think, and again, a situation like this, Coach might need to burn another timeout.
14 points, 4 assists for Mabry, and she's got a steal. Lost the handle at midcourt, but got it up ahead to Agumbawale. Irish hunting for 50 points here already in the second quarter.
They're having fun. They're having fun.
See if Walsh can settle down the Panthers here in the front court, guarded by Jackie Young. Gets it off to Garvin. She'll skip it across to Nelson. In deep they go. Mabry's got another steal. That's now 8 turnovers for the
Great
Panthers.
pass.
What a feed to Turner. Oh, she missed it.
But again, even when the Irish don't finish in that situation, look at number 5, Jackie Young gets the offensive rebound. She kept the play alive, got her hands on the ball. She didn't start turning back, going on defense. She was right there, gets an offensive rebound. Now she has a chance to knock in some free throws.
I've talked about the Mabry numbers. 14 points, 4 assists, couple of rebounds, 3 steals.
And it's still the second quarter.
Yes, it is. We're not even halfway through the second quarter.
Yeah. You know, defense creates offense. When you can get your hands on the basketball like the Irish do here, now they're on the run. And this is not a good situation because 3-on-2, the thing that makes the Irish so good, their bigs can run so well.
Not Turner, one of the best in the country.
Oh, my goodness. Track star. Just can run the floor and just allows the Irish to, get it up to her, and then she can catch and finish.
Turner's taken a seat here. Danielle Patterson, sophomore for Notre Dame, has come in as Pitt tries to solve this zone.
And they're really struggling. They're not getting in it. Those are things that maybe they weren't used to, or they haven't run a lot of zone offense, but they are struggling getting attacks to the basket. They're not really getting good looks, and it creates a situation where they panic, and then it's either a turnover or a rush shot.
Garvin travels underneath. That's turnover number 9 for the Panthers, and they're just 5 of 23 from the floor right now. And Agumbawale is wide open.
Timeout. He needs another timeout.
And we'll take it with the Panthers. 51-12 is the lead for Notre Dame. They are clicking on all cylinders. Marina Mabry is leading the way for the Irish with 14 points. It is always a good time here between the timeouts at Purcell Pavilion. A tradition unlike any other, the chicken toss.
Now look at this underhand toss. I mean, look at the follow through there. He's been in his backyard finding chickens and throwing them, and you can just see the result.
The focus on that young man's face.
It was good. I felt bad for the 3-year-old. I didn't think he needed a little extra effort there.
The deck was stacked against him. He was going up against kids in the 3rd and 4th grade.
2-2-1.
As Pitt has committed their 10th turnover.
Yeah. Came out of the break with a 2-2-1, full court press, trapped out of it, put a lot of pressure on it. Just seems to be everything that the Irish are doing, everything that Coach McGraw, every button she's pushing is just working extremely well. I've been on both sides. I've been on both sides. It's not a pleasure when you're on that side with Coach at Pitt. Right now, he's trying to get anything positive to happen, but nothing's happening. And everything that the Irish do is working.
Well, there's a turnover. Panthers take it away. Good steal that time by Jayla Henry. And now the Panthers can run. They get it to Walsh in the corner, who has 6 points. And that floater just goes begging. This is where they've had trouble, getting back in transition and stopping Agumbawale, who knocks down another.
And, look at that transition. That all started with Shepard's rebound. That ball got to half court, and now it's just 2-on-1 to the basket.
And you can see it on your screen at 21 unanswered for Notre Dame over the last 4 minutes, no less. So they've done it, and they've done it fast. They have blitzed out in front of Pittsburgh here, up by 41 points already in this second quarter. It's a Pitt team, again, that was coming off 3 straight wins.
It was a great situation. I really felt that was their best movement with the basketball they've had. They had the ball down in the mid-corner. That is the area that you're going to get a little 8-footer. They had that look. They just didn't capitalize on making the shot.
Well, just to tell you how good the ACC is this year, Pitt is 9-5 on the season. That is the second worst record in the conference throughout non-conference play. So it takes an incredible standard to work your way into the top of the conference. In fact, all but 5 teams are in double figures in wins already. As Patterson has an offensive rebound, she's blocked, and the Panthers putting up a good fight defensively here.
They were, but the Irish were getting one rebound after another. They're relentless on the boards, and they kind of like they were building their offensive stats on the boards because they really attacked, were strong to the basket. Now here we got an out-of-bounds play. We'll see what Pitt does.
They have struggled against these inbound sets, and they get a steal here. Good pick by Walsh. Panthers can run here in transition. Walsh gives it up to Whitney, who goes to the rim. Count it, and a foul.
Yeah, I really like the way Walsh plays. She's a competitor. She got her hands on this basketball here, and watch how she attacks the basket here. You want to attack the defense, make them commit, and then make a great pass. So she attacks the basket, finds the open man, knocks in the shot.
I'm trying to figure out why Walsh was on the bench for those first 3 seasons. She looks to be very capable.
Yes.
She's knocked down a couple of big threes. As you mentioned, she got out in transition, made a good feed that time to Whitney, who's going to have to actually go to the bench here. And I think she may have been nicked up and has to get a cut taken care of on her hand. She'll have a chance to go for the three-point play. Whitney is actually coming off a career game, 23 points in her last outing against Duquesne. That was the most recent of their 9+ point comebacks.
You know, and again, that just shows you that as you look at Coach, one of the things he's been able to do is bring a lot of energy into his program. And, you know, that really is a great start to bring energy. And then energy is contagious. And so that energy will help these young ladies develop their program and get the culture where they want to be.
There's a great look at the rebounding margin, 27-10 in favor of Notre Dame. They've already cleaned up 13 offensive rebounds. You mentioned it when they were warming up, Coach. There's just a size differential between these two teams.
Great pass.
Shepard is fouled on her way up, and she'll get a couple of free throws here.
You know, that's a great pass because that pass was one off the dribble where she didn't take it and gather it. She just handled the basketball, continued to dribble the ball. As she came off that dribble, made a quick snap pass, resulted in a great opportunity for a layup.
Shepard's at the free throw line. She is a bit of a game changer for this team. When she transferred last year from Nebraska, she was declared active on the final day before the season started, which was a huge relief for this team that knew they were going to be shorthanded. Key contributor in that national championship last year, and she has just been one of those outstanding seniors in that 1,000-point club.
Yeah, when I watched them practice, look out. Tony, did you get that ball?
I tried to get my hands on it.
You did.
It knocked off one of our outstanding assistants, Paul Borowski's glasses here nearby, but
no
he's
blood.
A tough one. He's
no
a tough one. He's all good. No blood, no foul.
All right.
Okay.
You don't have to take a 30-second.
Paul's okay. We're okay.
Yep. Going man-to-man here. I think that's a good decision by Coach. You know, just try to mix things up, get the Irish out of their comfort zone.
Shepard takes it to the rack, had it blocked. Good work that time by Jayla Henry. She got a piece. And Pittsburgh, to their credit, they're down 41. They're still playing hard on both ends.
Absolutely.
Walsh finds Nelson for three. Comes up short, and it's tapped out of play.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing about it. As you get into conference play, there's a lot of pride in the Pitt players, and they're going to continue to play hard. They're going to continue to, try to chip away every possession. You got to play one possession at a time. You're not going to get a 30-point spread here controlled by, getting a 30-point play. You just got to play one possession at a time. Get some positives going in here before halftime. Try to play this last 2:46. Let's say, hey, we're going to try to get on a 6-0 run. Just get something positive coming out before you go to half.
The lead is 41 for Notre Dame. Arike Agumbawale just went to the bench. She, on the evening, is a plus 43 overall. Rare you see that number this early in a game.
No, I was looking at that and thought maybe there was something wrong there, but no, that's exactly where she's at.
Mabry goes backdoor. Prohaska, great pass inside to Vaughn, who got free, and she was fouled.
Again, just a great pass where you're looking at the ball inside, outside. The Irish are so unselfish with the basketball. And, that's been a trend that I've noticed since the UConn game. The assist rate keeps going up. Turnovers have been going down.
And just a note on Marina Mabry, who you see on your screen. She's plus 36 as well right now. Some gaudy numbers for the Irish at this point. Though the one that sticks out to me overall is that was the 16th free throw taken by Notre Dame. Pittsburgh has yet to take any.
They really haven't had an opportunity.
They've had one, I beg your pardon.
They had one. But they really haven't had too many opportunities against the Irish zone. They've really settled for perimeter shots or they've turned the ball over. The way you get to the free throw lines, you got to attack the basket and draw fouls.
We approach the 2-minute mark here. Walsh has it out front, driving on Nixon. Trying to get it into the corner, looking for Nelson. Stolen by Prohaska. That's the 12th Pittsburgh turnover. Prohaska couldn't finish. Mabry has the offensive rebound. Thought about taking it back out. Instead, finds Michaela Vaughn for two.
That was a great heady move. She acted like she was going to dribble out and set the offense up. Went right back. Found an open teammate. Layup.
Well, now you got to keep an eye on Marina Mabry. 14 points, 6 assists already in this one. Also, the 3 steals.
Yeah, that's more than I had in a career.
That might be a fourth right there as Mabry picks it up and she wants to push again. Thought about stepping into a three. Instead finds Vaughn again.
And Vaughn ran the floor. I really like that the senior got her the basketball. She ran the floor so well. Found the ball inside. Great finish. Way to run the floor. Bigs run the floor, need to be rewarded.
Well, this is Mabry's 9th game since returning. And she is just getting better every time she's back on the floor. This time she misses on a transition three. Had 10 assists against Binghamton. That's a season high. Also had 7 in the most recent game against Lehigh. Since she moved to that point guard position last year as a junior, her whole mindset as a player seems to have changed, and she's gotten others involved so much better.
Yes. That's been a change in her whole game, is being able to distribute the ball, have a mindset not only of a scorer, but a point guard scorer.
And it looked like she may have even changed that shot on that last three here. Obviously, the defense has stood out today, but what she's known for is the offense. This is the play you're talking about, Coach.
Yeah, we love that play where you actually are pretty coy. You act like you're going to dribble on the outside, then you come back and get an easy basket. Then you attack here. And, again, defense creates that offense. And a great run, great pass, great find.
Well, and you saw right there, how much does her shooting ability open up those passing lanes? They have to respect it.
Yeah, and they try to come out and try to defend that. Then she looks inside, able to get inside. And, again, the key thing there as a coach, you want your bigs to run. And Notre Dame bigs run. And then you want to reward them for getting the basketball, because they can continue to run if they can get the basketball inside and get rewarded. And that's exactly what Notre Dame does.
Mabry was looking for Vaughn again, who she connected with on her last 2 assists.
Need to make a little bounce pass there. I'm sure coaching staff will go over that in the film, but there's not too many negatives in film so far.
12-second differential here between shot and game clock, as it's been all Irish here in the opening 20 minutes against Pittsburgh.
Pitt staying in that zone.
Mabry will shoot a long three, and that's an air ball. So shot clock will turn off, and Pittsburgh will get the final possession.
Again, you're just looking for a positive here, and so you want to get any momentum you can. So it'd be great for the Pitt program if they can get a bucket here.
Just 5 seconds left. Kawhi Bradley took it in, had it poked out of play. 1.2 seconds left.
Still got time to get a good shot. Just have to execute and get a quick look.
Well, Notre Dame's had great inbound sets tonight. See if Pitt can have one up their sleeve. Walsh is going to get it, and she can't get the shot off. So that will bring an end to what was a dominant first half from Notre Dame.
Well, absolutely dominant, and you're looking for your seniors, and exactly what has happened. They've been able to contribute on the offensive end, knocking down shots.
Marina Mabry, one of those seniors, leading the way for the Irish. 14 points and 7 assists. It's all Notre Dame. Well, it was a great sight. Had 10 assists in that game against Marquette, so she could be approaching double figures in assists again here today.
And again, one of the things that I'm sure Coach McGraw talked about is playing with focus now. Let's not look at the scoreboard and see the big gap here between 60 and 14. Let's focus on getting better here.
And there's plenty to play for coming up. They go to Georgia Tech this weekend, and then a week from tonight, it'll be Louisville, number 3 here at Purcell Pavilion, and I think everybody on high alert for that one.
I think one of the things that you try to strive is for excellence in everything you do, and that's exactly what Notre Dame has done for years. I'm sure Pitt's going to be striving to do that in the future, but one of the things you want to challenge your players to do is don't take a play off. Continue to work hard at both ends of the floor. Make sure you execute, because we're trying to get better each and every game. You don't want to take any steps back. Not even if you're up by 20, 30, or 40. It doesn't matter. You're playing against yourself.
All right, let's talk Pitt a little bit here. If you're Lance White, Coach, you've said you've been on both sides of this. What are you focusing on here in the next 20 minutes?
Well, one of the things I think you really want to talk about, how to attack this zone a little bit better. The ball's got to move. It's not moving. It's staying in one place. Plus the fact that they've not been able to make the zone shift at all. And the only way you're going to be able to do that as a coach is you're going to have to make ball fakes. The Irish have been able to get a hand in the passing lane, and that just forces everybody farther and farther away from the basket. So, ball fakes, pass fakes, but how much time do you spend on the Irish zone? Many times you don't have that opportunity, and so when a team's playing great defense like Syracuse does on the men's side, it's very difficult to prepare for them.
Yeah, we were talking during halftime. Sometimes it can be tough to practice against that zone because if you aren't particularly comfortable coaching it yourself, you're not quite sure how to implement it in practice.
Every coach gravitates to what they know best, and that's the thing. If you're a man-to-man person, that's what you know. Maybe that's what you played, or maybe that's what you coached under. So you're focused on doing those things well. And then when you go against a team that's playing a matchup zone here, all of a sudden the things that you do well aren't in the factor any longer. So that's why you have to keep adapting as a coach. As you go through the years, you try to find out, and you spend a lot of time during the summer talking to these coaches that do things different than you do.
Brianna Turner made one of 2 free throws. This is Jasmine Whitney who takes it down the floor. She lost it, and then she's tied up. Possession arrow is going to stay with Pittsburgh here, and they'll keep it.
Irish defense has just been so solid. It's kind of like on a record-breaking point right now where they've just not allowed too many points in this ball game with that 14 saying on the scoreboard.
And you saw Lance White right there. Spent 15 seasons as an assistant at Florida State, so he's no stranger to ACC play and how competitive it is.
Yes.
And he's seen Notre Dame these last few seasons. And that one goes out of bounds here.
It just tells you how good the Irish really are. When you're looking at that record, that's just unbelievable. Only 3 losses. Only 3 losses. You only have 3 nights where you don't play your very best. That just tells you how good they have been for a long period of time.
There's a steal. Panthers out in transition here. Chance to run as Garvin gets down the floor. Mabry hustling back, and she commits the foul, and Garvin will get a chance for a 3-point play.
And again, that's a positive, just being able to get your hands on the basketball, getting out on the break, and again, advancing the ball, not with a dribble, with a pass, being able to come to a jump stop, get yourself under control, and be able to have an opportunity to make a 3-point play.
Yeah, great feed by Jasmine Whitney, who got it out. Garvin converts on the and one, and Pittsburgh able to get an early basket here in this second half.
And you're looking for positives. You can't look at the scoreboard. You've got to say, all right, we're trying to play. We're trying to get better. The Irish are going to try to get better at their end. And, as a coach, you want to say, let's build this up into 4-minute segments. Let's not look about winning the game right now. Let's win the next 4 minutes, ladies. And, so that's what you're trying to strive to do.
Well, to this point, Pittsburgh has the edge in this half. They've got the only field goal of the half. Notre Dame has just 1 free throw from Brianna Turner.
So as a coach, you have somebody on the bench that just marks that down. Say at the TV timeout, you say, hey, we're up 2. We're playing better, or we're down 2. It's not looking at, hey, we're down 40. We have no hope. You've got to try to build on the small things.
Now there's Mabry giving the Irish their first field goal of the half. She knocks down another 3 for her. That is her 3rd of the night.
She's just playing with so much confidence.
Sheena Gumbawale tied the team lead now tonight in points with 17 apiece. They've combined for 34 of the 64 for Notre Dame. Judkins is blocked by Turner. Into the hands of Walsh. Comes up short on her mid-range shot. A rebound try by Garvin is out of play.
It's a who's who out there on the floor. You have so many great players that out on that floor that can beat you in so many ways. So the Irish are just so deep and so good and have so much experience.
Oh, Walsh free in the corner on the inbound set. That one rattled off. Garvin, though, hitting the offensive glass, creating a second chance for the Panthers. Garvin's been pretty active inside.
Very, very, very active. Done a good job of trying to get on the offensive boards.
And she's got 2 offensive rebounds, 3 overall. That one goes begging into the hands of Shepard. Irish can run. Agumbawale in transition is fouled.
Again, that outlet pass was at half court by Shepard, and that just is high octane. When you're looking at it getting out on the rebound here, you see a great outlet pass here. Unbelievable outlet pass, even a overhead bounce pass, and just allows the Irish to run, and that's what they do so well.
How valuable is it to have bigs that can get that outlet pass? The guy that comes to mind for me on the men's side was Kevin Love so many years ago.
Yes.
He could start so many fast breaks.
Yes, he could get the ball out, and he could make a pass 3/4 length. But being able to get the ball out, you cannot outrun the ball. And so if you can get an outlet pass to half court, you are having a big advantage on the offensive end.
18 fast break points for Notre Dame tonight, which tells you how well they've been in transition, and they're out on the run again. 3-on-1. Ogunbowale feeds Jackie Young.
It's a clinic. It is a clinic, but it all starts with great defense, creating offensive opportunities in transition.
That's 20 points in transition now, and that's off the hands and out of play, as Jayla Henry just couldn't quite handle it.
Yeah, this is a great no-look pass right here. You know, flicks it off the dribble with her right hand, set her teammate up, and again, we're going for another 1,000. She always got the 1,000. Now she's going for another 1,000.
Well, Enrique Ogunbowale gets so much attention for her individual scoring, and she deserves it. Obviously scores at a high clip, near 24 points a game. But in transition, when we've talked to head coach Muffet McGraw, what she thinks that really sets her apart even more is how unselfish and a capable passer she is in transition. That was a great example of it.
She really is just so unselfish. You know, she looks for the opportunity to score, but when she doesn't have that, she's willing to give it up.
Abby Prohaska back in the game for Notre Dame. Here's Nelson for three. That's too strong.
They were worried about her before the game, but she's just not been able to knock in shots so far.
Yeah, 0 for 4 from three is Nelson, and an easy basket for Shepard on the other end.
Again, transition, outlet, down the floor, layup. Again, they need to really move the ball, not let it stick. The Irish in their matchup just don't even have to worry about screens. They go underneath them all.
There's Jasmine Whitney missing on a three. Turner picks up the rebound. She's going to push the break.
Skill. Look at the skill set.
Another pass from Ogunbowale, then a touch pass from Young, but an offensive foul.
Well, I think they may have caught her in the circle, so I think the Irish are going to be able to still have the ball.
No, you're right. That's blocking foul because of Whitney being in the restricted area. That was another great fast break from Notre Dame.
Yeah. Look at this. Point guard happens to be your center right there. No look pass, another quick pass, and again, the ball's just moving so quick that you can't react and you get easy shots.
Jordan Nixon in the game now. So is Michaela Vaughn and Danielle Patterson. So Young the only starter, and she plays with 4 Young reserves.
Yes. You know, again, I think this is kind of an opportunity for these young players to get their feet wet. This is their first conference game. These freshmen are in, so this is all new. Even though it's a big spread in the point difference, it's still all new when you get into conference play.
Prohaska the steal, Young the push, Nixon can't get it to go. Good defense that time as Walters came from behind to force her to adjust the shot. Notre Dame in control this one. They lead 71-7. Muffet McGraw seems to be well on her way to career win number 901. The Naismith Hall of Famer has had all kinds of success this year. 12-1 is Notre Dame. Their only loss coming to number 1 ranked UConn. Pretty easy to understand why when you look at their starting 5. They are all on the Wooden Award watch list. You look across the board now, all have scored 1,000 points. Anywhere you turn, you got All-American caliber players.
You do, and they also have so much experience. They've been there before. That's the thing that's amazing. These aren't freshmen or sophomore. These are young. These are people that have played for the Irish and have cut down national championship nets.
Well, the one player you saw in that graphic that was not slated to be part of that senior class was Brianna Turner. She was supposed to be a senior last year, injured her ACL at the end of her junior season a couple seasons ago, so she sat out all of last year. And that was something that throughout the tournament run and really throughout all of last season when people were talking about Notre Dame, they were kind of expecting this to be their year. They almost won that championship last year a little bit ahead of schedule considering all the injuries they had and what the senior class would look like this year as Knight gets a basket in deep for Pitt. But the fact that they were able to add Turner to this class, I mean, really it's an amazing senior class that Notre Dame has now assembled here.
Well, the amazing thing about it is, as a coach, you just never know. So you just got to prepare. You might think things are going to fall in place, and they don't. And, they were shorthanded last year, but their players stepped up. They filled the roles, and they played great down the stretch.
Patterson will take it. Oh, what a move by Danielle Patterson. Soft touch off the window.
Really good to see that. That's something that the Irish are going to need. More help in that front line, and she can do those type of things. She's going to get playing time.
Well, again, we've seen this last couple times with Notre Dame. They've started the starters in the third and fourth quarter. Then they usually take a few of them out and leave one out there. The one right now is Jackie Young, who has the basket, playing with a trio of freshmen and one sophomore.
Yeah, just, again, defense, being able to get their hands on the basketball, pushing the ball up the floor, getting the ball in the middle of the floor, allows a bounce pass and a finish and a foul. You need to get the ball in the middle of the floor in transition, and that's what the Irish do such a great job of, because if you get the ball in the middle of the floor, then you can make a pass to your left or your right. The defense has to pick, and then the Irish take advantage of that.
Well, the lead is now ballooned 76-19 here with 3.5 left in the third quarter.
Again,
So still plenty of time.
Yeah, as a coach, you're just saying, hey, we're just trying to make positive things happen. And right now, there are not very many positive things happen for Pitt right now.
That was the 21st turnover for the Panthers. They have just struggled against this Notre Dame team on both sides of the ball. As Michaela Vaughn has it at the elbow. She'll face up here, 15 to shoot. Prohaska trying to make her move. She draws a foul, and the Panthers are in the penalty.
Different wrinkle on the offense there for the Irish against man-to-man. They went to a flex cut. Were able to get a great screen, a great look inside. And again, we'll see if this freshman can knock down these shots.
And I think Mabry, who's set to check in here, is going to come in for Jackie Young, because this has been the pattern for Muffet McGraw when games have gotten a bit lopsided. She likes to leave one experienced player on the floor. They really are about 9 deep right now, so they've got to leave someone out there.
You're talking about toolbox and all the tools you have in there. Wouldn't it be a great situation? You just said, all right, we got another person that's on the wooden watch. We'll just slip her back in the game.
Well, I'll ask you as a coach, though, because when you get into a game like this, you don't want to pour too much salt in the wound. But at the same time, they've got Louisville in a week.
Yeah.
If you're Muffet McGraw, you can't afford to maybe take everybody out the rest of the way. You've got to get them some reps to get ready.
Absolutely. The routine is there. What coaches need to understand, and they do on both ends here, is that the Irish are not picking up people full court man-to-man, trying to do a lot of things gambling. They're falling back into what they do, their 2-3 matchup. The last couple times they've also played a little bit more man-to-man. There's no way that they're trying to show up a young Pitt team. They're just going out there and playing hard. And I've been on both sides, but one of the things you want to try to do is just say, hey, we've got to get better. The Irish do what they do. We just got to get better at what we do. And as a coach, you don't want to change your game plan depending on the scoreboard.
I don't want to speak for Lance White, but I imagine he's going to be looking at this as he wants them to keep bringing it so he can get his team some reps against one of the best teams in the country.
Absolutely.
So they are prepared for the rest of conference play.
Yes. If you're a coach, unless you're seeing people just start hucking threes that they shouldn't or pressing when they're up by 60, that's a little bit different.
Another good inbound set and another three from Mabry.
What he's saying, hey, we just got to get better, and this is something that, it's tough to live through, but, these are teachable moments that they're going to have to say, hey, we've got to get better. We want to be Notre Dame someday. So in order to do that, we're going to have to get better players, and the ones we have are just going to have to get better.
Well, a point of emphasis I am pretty confident that will be there in the film room after this game is defending out-of-bounds sets. Too many times tonight, Notre Dame's gotten wide-open looks out of baseline sets.
They have. And, again, you can look at the strength that Notre Dame is playing very well. They're playing like they're a national champion. But at the same time, as a coach, you got to go back and say, hey, were we in awe? Was there something there that we did not come in mentally ready to do? And part of that is defending out-of-bounds plays. That's usually a sign. If you don't defend out-of-bounds plays, it's usually these are things that you go over the late part of practice before in your walkthrough, so everybody knows what tendencies are, what people are looking for. And if you're giving up layups on out-of-bounds plays, it kind of sends a message that, hey, we weren't really focused like we should have been.
An offensive rebound here for the Panthers. Chance to reset. Ismini Prapa's on the floor for the first time, and she has it out front. This is over to Bradley for three, and she connects.
Great look, great pass, great results.
Well, Kawhi Bradley has played well. 5 points for her in this one. Again, the Chicago native playing well close to home.
I'm sure Coach Lance White's, just going to continue to say, hey, we've got to continue to compete, got to continue to get better. This isn't a time, again, where you panic or just throw things up. You're going against the national champion. It's a teachable, learning moment, but at the same time, you want your people to get out and play as hard as they possibly can and try to get better here in the next quarter and minute.
Michaela Vaughn Has played 11 minutes tonight. She's got 6 points.
Yes.
And this is somebody they want to bring off the bench, I think, a little bit more if they can get her up to speed.
I really liked watching her before the injury last year. Now I can see that she's playing with more confidence. She's now just got a sleeve on, not a brace. I think that's a transition that people have to deal with when they have a major surgery like she did.
Yeah, tore her ACL after that first game last season. Scored 30 points in an exhibition. So she showed she could fill it up, and she was very good defensively too. You can imagine, if you're a coach, how much you'd like to be able to play her and Turner at the same time.
She's got a high energy level too. I really like her motor that she plays with, and I'm sure that as time goes on, that's just going to continue to get better. Man-to-man here by Pitt.
Patterson trying a quick follow-away jump shot that wouldn't go. And now Bradley will bring it up, approaching the final 30 seconds of the third quarter. Good offensive rebound that time by Judkins. Then she couldn't get it to go, had it ripped away. Nixon has it. She wants to push. Jordan Nixon, talented freshman, takes it to the rim, and she's fouled.
Again, those are the things that the Irish staff are really looking forward to seeing here in the future, because she's going to have to be the future, helping out the point guard position. She comes in with a lot of accolades, and she's an outstanding player. She's had an injury. Now she's coming back, and she's going to knock in shots here.
Yeah, ACC preseason newcomer watch list for the freshman Jordan Nixon out of New York City. Missed 5 games with a concussion, and now she's kind of slowly getting back into the mix.
You know, those things, when you have an injury like that, it takes a lot to come back, especially a freshman, because those reps you miss in practice, just being able to have all that practice time, the drill work, the individual work, you miss out on all of that, so you're always a step behind.
And she was a McDonald's All-American. Actually the first freshman guard to start since Lindsey Allen, who graduated a couple years ago for the Irish. Talented point guard for them. Just 3 seconds left. Prohaska has it, checks the clock, puts it up, and that's an air ball. That will end the third quarter. Notre Dame on top by 61. Notre Dame has an 85-24 lead after 3. One of the big reasons why, Coach, is they've been getting up and down the floor.
That's just the style of play that the Irish have of pushing the ball. Here you just see it down the floor, great looks, attack, pull-ups. And again, it all starts with great defense, deflections. That allows transition baskets, and a no-look pass, easy layup.
Now, Arike Ngumbawale, who you see here getting out in transition, she has been creating some offense for her teammates. She has 3 assists. The most assists belong to Marina Mabry, who has 7. Jess Shepard as well, who we saw with some good outlet passes, has 5. She's been distributing the ball quite well as well. It's been about as good of a Notre Dame performance as we've seen.
There's just nothing you can go back and look at right now on film. That everything is a positive.
Got a good look at Shepard and Mabry. They might be done for the night. As you see now, none of the starters on the floor. It'll be all reserves here to begin the fourth, and Walsh has a steal. Here comes Cassidy Walsh. Good pass to Whitney, who's fouled from behind.
A commitment to excellence means that even though you have subs in, you still want to play extremely well. And the Irish need to make sure that they continue to play well. Players that are coming in off the bench continue what the starters have done. And so Coach McGraw is going to be really watching this bench play to make sure that there are no let-ups.
Well, there's one thing Muffet McGraw will do is she'll be engaged for all 40 minutes, and she will be very active here in these final 10 because, to your point, she's going to need these reserves either in seasons to come or, as you saw last year and you've talked about it, if something comes up this year, you might need them in a pinch in a big game this season.
There's no such thing as mop-up time when you're a college basketball player. It's quality time to get better. And, I love this about Coach McGraw. All great coaches do this. They never quit coaching. They're not going to sit back and say, hey, I'm up by 50. But she's still going to teach, continue to coach, try to make sure that these players get better.
Danielle Cosgrove's on the floor for the first time today, and she misfires on a 3. Here's Walsh in transition. She tries her luck. That wouldn't go. Had a good start, did Walsh. Made a couple of threes, but now just 2 of 13 from the floor. And she's had to force the issue here and there
really
because she's been really one of the only go-to options they've had in this one.
And again, as a coach, we're going back to that 4-minute mark. Let's just see what we can do in the next 4 minutes. If we can hold our own and get some positives out of this that we can take with us when we get ready for our next game.
It's been a tough shooting night for Pitt. Their backcourt of Walsh and Whitney are each 2 for 13. As a team, they're 10 for 50, just shooting 20% in this one, and just 3 of 18 from 3. That's 16%, as Whitney will try, and she'll knock one down.
But again, the ball movement was so much better with the Panthers there. They were able to get the ball inside out. It didn't stick. Because of that, they're going to get a good shot.
Yeah, it's a good three-point shooting team as well. They came in shooting 36%. But you're right, the zone defense and the man-to-man defense of Notre Dame has given them fits throughout the night. That was one of their best sequences offensively on that last trip.
And you want to just keep building off of that by getting the ball moving, trying to make sure you get great cuts, reading the defense. And it seems like they have a little more confidence right now.
Walsh over to Nelson, who's 0 for 6, has missed all her threes. Came in shooting 43% from 3. Big collision between Nelson and Prohaska. They both hit the deck. Just 6 to shoot. They get it inside. Garvin will put it up. Wouldn't go. Offensive rebound, though, by Walters. Is stuck back up and in.
I really like that. No matter what the score is, both teams have people diving on the floor. That's just a great sign of, you know what, we're going to compete. If we're up or down, we're still going to get on the floor after a loose ball.
They get it inside to Vaughn, who banks it home.
She's doing a great job of getting great body position, was able to seal her player, and then allow the great bounce pass. The pass made the basket perfectly pass right to where you want, and then she just had to catch it and finish it.
Walters back for Nelson. Ball moving much better now for Pitt as Whitney missed on the jump shot. Again, she hits the deck.
Getting on the floor is still a great sign. That's what you want to see.
And Nixon will bring it ahead. Cosgrove wide open. Straightaway 3 is no good.
And I think that if there's young players watching out here, you just want to make sure that you're playing hard no matter what. It doesn't matter the score. You don't want to pout, feel sorry for yourself if you're on the end of this getting beat bad. If you're up, you want to continue to play hard, do the things you do well, play your strengths, and not do anything different than play hard.
Well, Callista Walters picks up another basket, and she has 8 rebounds.
Yes.
She's been the most active rebounding force on the floor for the Panthers.
The Panthers have done fairly well in the offensive end at rebounding. They've just not been able to commit to scoring as a result.
Nixon has to put up a 3 late in the shot clock. Doesn't go, and Whitney's got it for the Panthers. Finds Nelson in transition. See if she can knock one down. There you go.
That's what we expected from her when we talked to the staff before the game. She comes off the bench and knocks in threes, and there she had a really good look. Finally knocked it in. The Panthers are playing hard. They're playing with a lot more confidence.
Nixon to the baseline. Good reverse.
Great find on the baseline against that zone. Soft spots the mid-corner. They got it there. She did a great job just catching and squaring up, reading it, attacking the basket, getting a layup.
Walsh runs a floater up. Doesn't go. Cosgrove taps it into the hands of Prohaska. And she throws it away. Well, a couple minutes ago, Coach, the thing you were pointing to that you love so much this late in a game that's such a wide margin is these two going after the ball.
Yeah, you want to get the 50-50 ball. Both teams are playing extremely hard. Both those players getting down after a loose ball. That's just great for people to watch. And then there was a great decision there, attacking the basket against that 2-3 matchup of the Panthers.
Yeah, Jordan Nixon, like you mentioned, found that soft spot, took it to the baseline as Garvin tries her luck. Comes up short. Cosgrove's got it. Irish want to push.
As players, you always can play it with heart. Always play hard at what you're doing. Communicate and try to make your teammates better.
Maureen Butler has come on the floor for Notre Dame. And she'll get it back to Cosgrove. See if she can finally bury one, and she does.
You know, again, that shows you something. She missed her first two kind of poorly, but has confidence to knock in the third one.
Less than 5 to go. Garvin. Oh, good pass inside, and it's banked home.
Again, the ball moved a lot more in that possession. 5-6 quick passes, a little nice dump pass inside, and a great finish.
Notre Dame is going to improve to 13-1 with this victory. Again, they will play at Georgia Tech this weekend. Prohaska is fouled in deep, and that'll take us to our final timeout on the floor. Notre Dame's gotten contributions from everybody today, including the freshman, Danielle Cosgrove, knocking down her first 3 of the game.
Well, one of the things we have is a little bit of high school flavor here. We're a local program. Elkhart Central, just down the road from Notre Dame, is here demonstrating. We're on the winter break, so, Notre Dame cheerleaders are not back yet. So it's good to have the high schoolers come in here. And, this is a thrill for them to be on this floor against in this crowd.
Yeah, you got the great high school cheerleaders. You've also got the high school band. Here is the top 10 right now. Notre Dame, of course, about to improve to 13-1. Their only loss came against number 1 UConn. Right below them, number 3 Louisville, lurking a week from tonight here at Purcell Pavilion.
Will this place be rocking or what?
Well, last year, Coach, they went to Louisville during the regular season. This was just a few weeks after they kind of realized their rotation was going to be down to about 6 players for the rest of the year. And Louisville knocked them on their backside, 100-67 in that one. That was one of the most lopsided margins that Notre Dame had been on. And then a week later, they were playing Tennessee here at home, and they trailed by 23 points at home. And some of them were looking at each other like, not again.
Yes.
And then they went into the locker room, and they erased the largest deficit in program history. And from that Tennessee game in mid-January on, this team went on a run that eventually led to a national championship. So all that's to say that game next week, I think, has a lot of importance for a lot of these players on this team.
As coaches, you have a chance to reflect when the season's over. And the Notre Dame staff have to go back and look at that Tennessee game and say, all right, when did everything start to click and change? We got punched in the mouth at Louisville. Things weren't going well, but we responded to that. And from that point on, the Irish kind of got on a roll, and good things happen. So, you just never know what game it's going to be that creates that situation for your team to say, all right, this was the pivotal point where we put a stake in the ground and say, we're going to be a better team.
Well, Louisville is one of the teams that can say they got the better of Notre Dame last season.
Yes.
They beat them twice.
Yes, they did.
Beat them in that conference championship, and I think they felt that if they were to meet up with them in that national championship game, they'd have all kinds of momentum going in that, but they couldn't get there.
Coaching is part of matchups, and, sometimes you have a team, they just don't match up real well, and that was the kind of the case with Louisville last year. But you know what? I think the Irish players remember that they lost twice. And, you don't want to look ahead, because that's the thing great about conference. You've got to focus in on the game at hand. You cannot look past anybody else, because if you do that, then you're going to get beat. So you got to focus in on one game at a time. Conference is one game at a time.
Great freshman connection there from Nixon to Cosgrove. Well, that's why I love not being on a team, Coach. I get to look ahead. I get to look ahead at the big, juicy matchup next week. I think it'll be a fun one. Asia Durr, of course, for Louisville.
Yeah.
One of the best players in the country, and the fans here at Purcell Pavilion to get a chance to see her match up against this Notre Dame team.
Yeah, as a coaching staff, you're coaching 3, 4, 5 games out.
Yep.
The Irish coaching staff's doing that, but at the same time, you got to watch ahead, but focus on the now. Because if you don't focus in on the now, then you're not going to get better. The thing that I've liked about this game so far with this fourth quarter, I think the substitutes have really come in and played much focus that I've seen in the past.
Yeah, the reserves have looked very good, especially here in the fourth.
Yes.
As Nixon finds Patterson for a fall away. Comes up a little bit short. Irish now hunting for that century mark here, as it's 98-41, 2 minutes to play.
Again, these are all still key minutes for both teams as you open up conference play. One game at a time. As a coaching staff, you just want to focus in on, all right, let's finish strong, let's not have any injuries, and then let's get ready for practice tomorrow.
Notre Dame will have Georgia Tech before that Louisville game. Pittsburgh, it doesn't get any easier for them. They have a week to prepare, but they have number 9 and undefeated NC State next week, and that is also on the road.
From here on out, for the most part, you're playing league games. There's a few scattered in there, but you're playing league games. Well, the bad news of that is you're playing the #1 league in the country, so you don't get a break in this league. You're just going to have to, suck it up, get ready, and hopefully play your best.
Well, we talked about it at the top of the show. It's the #1 RPI conference again. And you look up and down the conference. Again, Pitt came in 9-5.
Yes.
That was the second worst record in the conference.
Yes.
I mean, it is such a tough conference, and it's not going to get any easier for either team going forward.
And that's the challenge, I think, when Coach came here to the Panthers. From Pitt, he said, I've got an opportunity to play the best league in the country, the ACC, with the best coaches in the country. So that's just going to make you better as a coach. When you're playing the best league against the best coaches, you're going to get better, and he's going to continue to recruit really well. He's done a great job as assistant coach. He's going to do a great job at Pitt. They got the right guy, but it's going to take time for him to get his players, his program established like he wants.
Yeah, Nixon makes the free throw. Lance White, who you just saw, in 2017, he was the women's basketball coach's assistant coach of the year.
Yes, and again, we know the success Florida State has had, and he's been a part of that, but it's going to take time to get his players adjusted to what he wants to do in the culture of Pitt basketball for the ladies here. He'll get it done. It's just going to take a little time.
100-41 in the final minute of this one. Notre Dame looking like the #2 ranked team in the country, taking care of business tonight against Pitt. And there's a foul away from the pass, it looks like. So we'll get just the second foul against Notre Dame here.
Yeah, there's not a lot of things you're going to look on that stat sheet as a coaching staff and say, hey, we didn't do a very good job of this tonight. Everything was well. Your starters played extremely well. You shot well. You defended well. And the subs have come in and played really hard. So it's a positive win for the Irish. I look at Pitt. They're going to learn from it. They're going to get better. They're going to get ready for their next game. And you just got to move on and say, hey, this was a good lesson for us to play a national championship team on their home floor, but we've got to brush this off and get ready for our next game.
Here's Nelson. One more three goes down for her. Good to see her find the stroke by the end of the night. Makes her last 2 shots after missing her first 6.
I doubt that the Irish will take a shot here. I think they'll run the clock out in this game with 100-44.
And it looks exactly like what Jordan Nixon's going to do. Notre Dame will improve to 13-1. It's career win number 901 for Muffet McGraw as the Irish knock off Pitt in their ACC conference opener.